Hi, my name is Jason Payne. I'm the founder of Evolution of Mental Performance Skills and the author of the Competitive Advantage newsletter. Today, I'm going to be talking about the framework I use to teach mental performance skills to my athletes, the 4E's framework. Our goal at Evolution Mental Performance is to help coaches gain knowledge on human aspects of coaching. Traditional coach training doesn't do enough to help coaches improve conditions for the people who are playing the sport, but are focused instead on um, tactics and strategies instead of techniques that can help athletes achieve high performance. A little bit about me. 2018, I completed my 17th year as a varsity boys basketball coach in Yorkton, Saskatchewan, in Canada, and had the best team I'd ever had. And we were really good, really tough, hard to beat, and exhausting to coach. And basically, the 2 weeks after the season, I just sort of shriveled up in a ball in the basement. Um, was tired, was burnt out, struggling to reach the kids, struggling to help them deal with the things that they were dealing with. And that led to me enrolling in a master's of sport and performance psychology. Basically, I had two choices. I was either going to have to quit or I was going to have to find a new way to do it. And so I leaned into education and completed my master's in 2021. And really, it's really been a life changing and has really changed the way I coach. Every coach wants to create a team that's maximizing its potential. But at the end of the day, it's not a baseline out of bounds or a press break or something tactical that's holding our teams back. It's the issues that face our athletes, and it's the ability for us as coaches to perform at a high level. And I think there are three levels of performance that really set up environments of high performance. The first pillar is athletes who are able to perform at their best, and this involves mental performance skills, character development, um, balance, understanding that being an athlete is only part of what they do. The second is a strong organizational culture, one that sustains and encourages excellence, and the last is a leader who's at peak performance, and that includes making sure that the leader is uh, rested, uses um, it basically is physically burning off the stress that they're doing, eating properly, um, and essentially taking care of themselves as they hope to take care of their team. Okay, so this is the framework that I have used the last 5 years to teach mental skills to my athletes. Really, the challenge that I was finding prior to taking my master's was that at the end of the day, I would teach mental skills in sort of a one-off system, or maybe if we were lucky enough, we'd have a sports psychologist come in for a session. But it kind of ended there, and so did their experience with it, their opportunity to get better at it, and it didn't stick. Often I'd hear, "Well, that stuff doesn't work," or um, this isn't for me. Um, any things like that. So, um, almost immediately in my master's program, I recognized that there was a way to make it work. And this 4E framework has been really beneficial for me and has really helped my athletes. The first E is educate. So, a coach needs to do some background learning about the topic and finding out what exactly do the athletes need. What do they need help with? What skills would they benefit from? And really, I think, like in a lot of things, we don't have to be the experts. We can learn together. Being one step ahead of them is fine. Sometimes they might not even notice. But I think at the same time, it's okay to be vulnerable and say, we're learning this stuff together. So step one is coach learning about it. Step two is starting to educate the athletes. And really the important thing is some kids or some athletes are going to really be interested in the why, the science behind things. Most of them are going to be, how's this going to help me? And so I think it's super important to sort of touch on both those things. Um, and then once the education is done, that was where previously things ended for me. That was the stopping point. Now I actively experiment, allow athletes to experiment with the skills because at the end of the day, we don't introduce a new technical or tactical skill and expect athletes to be proficient at it in one session. We give them opportunities to practice it. We also give them opportunities where they are experiencing stress and increasing the mental load, and all of those things are important for developing proficiency with mental skills. Um, Starting with drills that are low cognitive load, low intensity, like a basic skill drill, is a great way to start. And then amping up the competition and the intensity as they become better at mastering the skill is a great way to help them experiment with it. Try different techniques with the technique that you're teaching them and allow them to sort of see what their experiment yields. So the next E is evaluate. What's working well? What needs changing? At the end of each practice, we take a few minutes to evaluate how things went, not just the mental skills. How did practice go? How was your day? Um, Basically, evaluating all the things that are going on in their lives. But whatever mental skill we're focusing on, we're going to take some time in that practice and evaluate its effectiveness. Did it work? What didn't work? What needs changing? Allowing athletes to change course if they need. And the last one is that once the majority of the kids are proficient and comfortable with the skill, we're going to embed it. It's going to become part of the fabric of our program. It's terminology that we use all the time. Everybody, athletes, coaches, sometimes even their parents become familiar with it. It becomes something that we include in timeouts, pregame speeches. I there's nothing that makes me happier than I start to hear it even in the hallways in the classroom at school when they're really starting to become proficient at understanding and really seeing its impact on their performance. So essentially, at the end of the day, this is the framework that we use. We really come back to constantly experimenting, constantly evaluating, and finding out what's working best for athletes. Thanks for your time. If you have any questions, please feel free to send me a message or post a comment on the video. And thanks for your time. Thanks for watching.